Welcome to Module 5, Lesson 4. Our I can statement is, I can record partial products to multiply a multi-digit number by a one-digit number. Okay, so we're sticking with this idea of partial products here. They're going to help us multiply, but this time we're not even worrying about two-digit, three-digit. We know we can use this strategy to multiply any multi-digit number. All right, it's already written out here for us. Here we go. Number 1, on Saturday, 264 people ride a carousel in the park. On Sunday, 3 times as many people ride the carousel. How many people ride the carousel on Sunday? Well, I know my equation to solve will be 3 times as many as 264. I'm going to use my area model to show 264 in expanded form. So 200s, 6 tens, and 4 ones. Those are each being multiplied by 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at letter A before we fill in our area model. Because letter A is asking us, what is our first step for showing the problem in the area model? So what was the first thing that we did? We needed to break apart our factor by place value. So we can say we break apart the greater factor into by place value, right? Break apart the factors by place value. And letter B asks us, why do you multiply the hundreds first? Do you have to multiply the hundreds first? Using commutative property, can you multiply them in any order? I could, right? I could say 3 times 60, boom, boom. Would that change my final answer? No, it would not. But we're going to multiply the hundreds first because we're moving from left to right in our area model. That's just typically how you complete an area model. It helps you stay organized in your thinking. Do you have to do it that way? No, you could multiply them in any order as long as you are following the area model of length times width. You're not starting to multiply 200 by 60 or 60 times 4. You're still following which ones need to be multiplied by which. So you can say, to keep yourself organized, it's arranged from left to right using the greatest place value. So you multiply the hundreds first. But again, we don't necessarily need to do it that way because we have the commutative property of multiplication that tells us even if we multiply them in a different order, we will still get the same partial products, which will get us the same final product. Right, so now go ahead and fill in those partial products. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at this over here. This is starting to prepare us for using standard algorithm to solve multi-digit multiplication. First, we're starting with the hundreds. Okay, this looks a little different than if you're used to using standard algorithm. We're starting by multiplying the hundreds. 3 times 2 hundreds is equal to 6 hundreds. Then we go to the tens. 3 times 6 tens is 18 tens, or 180. And 3 times 4 ones is 12 ones. When we add those partial products, we have our answer. Okay, so 792 would be our answer. We could have done that over here as well. This would be 780 plus 12, would be 792. Either way, how we want to solve. Letter C asks us, How can you use place value to help you record the partial products and find the whole product? This is basically asking what we did on that stacked equation. We can use place value, right? 3 times 200s, and then record our partial products underneath in a way that's closer to standard algorithm. So that place value helps us record because we aren't just saying 3 times 2 is 6, right? We're saying 3 times 200s is equal to 600s. All right, letter D asks us for our answer. How many people rode the carousel on Sunday? We found 792 people rode it. And letter E, how can we determine if this answer is reasonable? So we're thinking back to our reasonableness. Okay, I know that 264 looks really close to a number that I can multiply quickly, which is 250. 250 has 25 in it. 25 is one that's kind of nice to use as an estimation because we can think about things like quarters. If I have 250 times 3, well, 3 quarters is 75 cents. So 250 times 3 must be 750. Is 750 pretty close to 792? It is. So it's a pretty reasonable answer. Now I could have also rounded 264 to 300, which times 3 is 900. That's still pretty close to 792. So I know my answer is reasonable because it's close to these estimates. Go ahead and pause and write your explanation. Press play when you're ready for the next problem. Okay, let's look at problem number 2. Treetop Academy is ordering notebooks for each of their 2,356 students. How many notebooks should they order? We need to look over to the side. It's going to tell us the information. They're getting 4 notebooks for each student. So what do we know about expanded form partial? Use what we know about expanded form partial products and place value to find the product. Well, what's our equation? There's 4 notebooks for each of the 2,356 students. Go ahead and estimate. You can use rounding. You can use simple facts. But what would your estimate be? One estimate you might have chose was 8,000. You could have rounded this number to 2,000 and said 4 times 2,000 is 8,000. Another estimate you might use is 10,000. This is close to 2,500 or 2,500. 2,500 times 4, well, I know times 2, it's 5,000. Double that is 10,000, right? Think about 4 quarters and $1. 100 hundreds would be 10,000. All right, now we're going to go ahead and find the actual product. We need to use expanded form to break this apart. Go ahead and fill in your expanded form. And check your work. We're going to take that expanded form now and complete these equations here for our partial products. Okay. So it's going to have us start with the thousands place. 4 times 2,000s is equal to 8,000s. 4 times 300s is equal to 1,200s. 4 times 5 tens is equal to 20 tens. And 4 times 6 is equal to 24. So we add our 4 ones, our 2 tens, our 200s plus our 200s, our 8,000s plus our 1,000s. And we have our answer of 9,424. Go ahead and answer letter D. Is your answer reasonable? Yes or no? All right, and go ahead and pause the video to complete check understanding. Press play when you're ready to check your work. All right, go ahead and check your work. For number 1, my estimate was 210. My product was 238. For number 2, my estimate was 1,500 or 1,500. My answer was 1,488. Sounds really close, right? Because I only had to round up by 4 ones to get to 500. My estimate here was 27,000, and my answer is 23,229.